So let's welcome Sister.
Thank you. You know, it's so funny. As I was listening to you say all these things like, oh, like marketing and mass comm and all of this, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh no, it's almost my turn. You know, it's like, there's some things that never get out of your system no matter how many times you speak in front of people. So I have Sister, I'm like, just hold my hand if I get nervous, Sister. I've even planted some crowd encouragers, but you all are yeah, she is, Marianne Means. She knows. So it's really a joy to be here with all of you, and it's an honor as well to be able to share just a little bit about religious life, about my own journey into consecrated life. And I was listening to all three of you share, and I have to admit, so at first I was kind of happy when I thought I was going to go first, because I thought, okay, I'll do mine first. And now hearing all of you, I'm like, oh no, I'm going last after all these beautiful stories. But I think the beauty of it, though, is that God has done something amazing and unique in each one of us. And so each one of our stories has this, unique and unrepeatable beauty that cannot be replicated in anyone else's story. And I thought that would be a good place to start with my own testimony to you about my vocation, which is that of, it's a vocation to contemplate the beauty of God, to receive that beauty, and then to try to incarnate that beauty in the world. And for myself, just hearing all of these talks about just the feminine genius and feminine beauty, that was a journey that I know that I personally had to make throughout my whole life. And I'll start with this little story. It'll give you a little glimpse as to how I was before I entered, and even as I was going to enter. So I was approved for candidacy with our community. And I forget, one of the presenters was talking about like high heels, and she was saying like, who can actually do anything in high heels? Well, I could. In fact, I did everything in high heels. So I was like, high heels were like my flip-flops, all right? So I could go anywhere, do anything in them, loved them. And so God can do anything, right? So here I am. But so the day I went to enter candidacy, I can't believe we just get sent home. But I'm going to enter religious life, right? And candidacy is the first steps. This is not postulancy, right? It's a time of serious discernment. So I show up, and I had decided, like, okay, I've got this favorite pair of red pointy-toe high heels, and they're going to have their last run right now. So I get to Los Angeles, show up at Santa Teresita, which is where the candidates live, for the first time, meet my candidate directress face-to-face for the first time. So I walk in my red high heels, and at first she's not looking at my feet. So I walk in, and then she throws her arms open, and she's like, welcome to California. And her eyes just get this big when she got down to my feet. So I gave her a big hug, and I thought, oh, this is going to be a great year, you know? So anyway, so then right after that, I walked back to the car, and I was like, hit the trunk pops open, I take the red high heels off, throw them back there, put on the flats, and I go on my way, So the reason I tell that story, though, is because the Lord, for me, in femininity and just coming to understand it more deeply, feminine beauty, what does that really mean? What does that really look like? And so in my own call, having to let go, although these things are good, right? Like, it's not bad to want to look pretty and to want to dress up and all of that. But for myself, it's like it had become like I was trying to find my identity in those things. And so when I started to feel God calling me to a deeper love, to a deeper beauty, to a deeper expression of the unique and unrepeatable beauty that He had given to me, wow. My heart was just set aflame. And for me, it was very much through the most sacred heart of Jesus. It was His living, beating, burning heart that was drawing me to Himself. And the more that I ran from it, the more exhausted I became, and I finally made my surrender about halfway through college. And I realized that there was no other heart that was going to satisfy me the way that sacred heart could, which then eventually led me to the Carmelite Sisters of the Most Sacred Heart of Los Angeles. So our community, we are what you call an active contemplative community. So many of you are probably familiar with cloistered Carmelites. You think of St. Therese, which I have to say, I have been so excited every time I hear a Carmelite come up, which Carmelites have come up so much throughout the conference. It's been so beautiful. But so we combine that contemplative spirit of Carmel, that abiding, as Jesus says, abide in me and you will bear much fruit. I feel like that really captures the heart of who we are as active contemplative Carmelites, because we abide in him first through our life of contemplation and prayer, and then the fruit that comes forth in our active apostolate of retreats, healthcare, and education. So that's our community. And the way that we describe our charism is to stand in the presence of the living God with Mary. So our whole approach to holiness is through a Marian lens, if you will. It's not even just a devotion to Mary. We want to live and move and breathe in her spirit. We want to follow Jesus the way that she followed Jesus. So to really approach our holiness the way that she would. So we stand in the presence of the living God in prayer with Mary, and we make known to the world the love of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. So that's who we are as religious. So thank you.
Thank you.